Finally.
Hi Sultan,
Hi, Sultan.
you're playing the Blood Angels today. Should people be excited?
I think so.
Why? Why?
It's the most narrative Blood Angels have been in a while. There's 3 detachments in the book. All 3 are super themed, super fun, and also at the same time, they seem to be really strong. So that's really cool. They've made a win with the book. Loads of cool new models. Death Company look amazing.
Any fails in the new book?
There's no Librarian Dreadnought.
Any super successes, poggers moments in the book?
Yeah, again, Death Company are buffed. They look really good.
So let's cut straight to the Blood Angels. This is bang on 2,000 points.
It is.
So you get +1 internet point. They still have Oath of Moment.
Yes.
And what detachment are you bringing?
The Liberator Assault Force, which is essentially the Sons of Sanguinius one that we had in the index.
So they get +2 strength, +1 attack on the charge.
That's right.
Why are you running with the same detachment?
So there's 3 detachments. 2 of them are themed very heavily. One's basically Death Company.
Yes.
And the other one is basically jump packs only. This is the most well-rounded one. Everything was going to get the bonus in the army. So I wanted to bring that for a first run out where we bring black, gold and red.
Black, gold and red. Anything changed though? Strats and things?
Yeah, enhancements have been completely reworked. There's 4 of them and all 4 are good.
Right.
And I've taken 2 of them in this one that we'll talk about in a bit. And then all the strats have been reworked. There's still Armour of Contempt. That's the same for everything. You're used to that by now. But all 6 stratagems are really useful, I think.
So the old detachment, as it stood, was pretty juicy as it is. I mean, +2 strength, +1 attack. Really good on Blood Angels. Really good on like Terminators and Blade Guard and things like that.
Good in general, yeah.
But it's got more juice because of the enhancements.
That's
because
right.
of the stratagems.
And a few data sheet upgrades across the board.
So currently Sultan is furiously painting through all the miniatures in the box, but for now you managed to paint up Lamatis and some jumpy dudes.
Yes.
So Death Company, they used to have a 6-up feel no pain.
They still do.
And they re-roll all hits when they charge.
They still do.
Nice.
So yeah, they're really good. So now the new thing is that these are the new Death Company with jump packs.
Okay.
Previously it was the old mini guys. These are the new ones. The difference being you used to be able to all take the same kind of pistol, whatever pistol that may be, and all take Thunderhammers or all take fists. Not the case anymore because of Games Workshop only giving you what you have in the box. What these guys get...
There's a couple with the weird pistols, a couple with the weird things.
Yes, yeah. So basically in each Death Company squad of 5 people, you can take a plasma pistol, you can take an Inferno pistol, you can take an Eviscerator, which we'll talk about in a second, you could take 2 fists or a hammer or something like that. So I've got 2 fists, an Inferno pistol, a plasma pistol, and the Eviscerator in the squad.
Cool. And Death Company, OC0, unless there's a chaplain
OC1,
nearby.
Yeah, so the OC1 on the data sheet, but they need to have a chaplain nearby to even use that, and they cannot fall back unless the chaplain's within 12.
And Lamatis is the chaplain.
Lamatis is the only chaplain that also has the Death Company keyword.
Okay.
So he gives -1 damage, as he used to.
Right.
So the whole unit, if you get a 2 damage attack, it goes down to 1. It's good. He also gives them lethal hits, which when you're re-rolling all hits is quite strong.
Okay.
He's pretty tasty with what he is armed with, but we'll come back to him in a bit. The Death Company with jump packs is with re-roll charges. They already did that. And they also have the Eviscerator, which is the new shiny thing, which is a strength 7 -2, 2 damage, sustained hits, 1 chainsword.
Whoa.
It's only got 3 attacks and it hits on 4s, but you're re-rolling all hits. So yeah, pretty tasty. I think these guys could be really fun, and there's a few stratagems that will line up nicely with them.
Okay.
Behind him, we've got another Death Company squad. The Marines themselves are exactly the same, but this is a new data sheet. This is a Death Company captain. There's two kinds. There's one with the jump pack and one without. This is the one with the jump pack.
Nice conversion work there.
Thank you. So he gives them sustained hits 1,
okay,
which is cool. He has the same black rays, rerolling everything, and he has a power fist. And I did have an Inferno pistol because he's a slightly older model, but he has a plasma pistol.
Plasma pistol.
Yeah, again, it's the jump captain that you normally get.
Okay.
He has a really cool rule called Death Visions of Sanguinius. When he dies, I roll a d6. On a 2 to 3, you suffer d3 mortal wounds.
Who does? Me does.
You does.
Right.
On 4 to 5, it's 3. On a 6, it's d3 plus 3. If I'm fighting your warlord,
ouch,
it's plus 2 to the roll.
Ouch.
So he thinks you're Horus if it's the warlord, and he goes nuts on death, which
okay,
I think is so cool.
So if you get shot, though, I'm fine, but in close combat, he has
It has to be a melee attack, yeah.
It has to be a melee attack, and he's chucking out mortal wounds, and it could be very, very painful.
Yeah, and that's where he's going to be, basically.
Bite my throat off on the way down, true Space Marine vampire style.
Yes, so that's the black part of this army.
Right.
Let's move on to the gold.
The gold part.
So we only got a small gold contingent today. We have Dante, Lord Commander of Imperium Nihilus, or Lord Regent of Imperium Nihilus. He is still an absolute beast. He has 8 attacks base, but he's gone up to strength 8 instead of strength 7. So he's even more powerful. Still lethal hits. He gets
that'll be strength 10 on the
strength
charge.
10 on the charge in this detachment,
Ooh.
yeah, with 9 attacks.
Yeah.
He is also, when he leads a unit, gets +1 to advance and charge and +1 to hit for the entire unit.
Oh.
So Sanguinary Guard behind him will be hitting on 2s.
And they've changed quite a bit.
They have. We'll come on to them properly in a second. One other thing that comes up is he can force you to do a leadership test because he's wearing Sanguinius' death mask.
Right.
Which could basically, since at the start of the fight phase, stops you doing strats to re-roll saves and things.
Okay.
Which is fun. Battleshock is becoming more of a thing this edition.
Yes.
Behind him, as mentioned, Sanguinary Guard. They now come in 3s or 6s.
Okay.
So it used to be 5-man squads. They come in 3s now. That seems to be a shift that Games Workshop are doing at the moment.
Right.
Right now, they're really expensive for 6. It's 300 points.
Whoa.
But there's been some significant buffs. So first things first, they have 3 wounds each.
Nice.
They have a 4-up invuln.
Nice.
And they still have the 2-up save.
So, 1 minute. Blade Guard have 3 wounds, 4-up invulnerable save. These guys have 3 wounds, 4-up invulnerable save.
Yeah.
But they jump around all over the place as
and
well.
have a 2-up save instead of a 3-up. Yeah. Yeah. So they're quite strong. They're -1 to hit in combat naturally.
Right.
It used to be, if they were following your warlord around, they'd be -1 to wound as well. Now it's just if they're with a character, which is much stronger because it means you can have multiple units who are also -1 to wound in combat.
So -1 to hit, -1 to wound, so long as you put someone with them.
And they're in combat, yeah. If they're being shot at, it doesn't count.
Okay.
So they're really good. They've changed their weapons slightly. You can take 1 Inferno pistol, and it doesn't say per 3 people, it just says 1.
Yes.
So even though I brought 6, I can't bring 2 Inferno pistols. There's 1 in this squad.
Okay.
A banner increases the OC, so I painted this guy up special for it.
That's a beautiful banner.
Thank you. I did some sculpting. It was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Is there going to be
helping
a video coming up on that on Salt and Play's YouTube channel?
There will be, yeah.
On the banner?
With the banner, yeah.
Nice.
We like doing a banner, big flag energy.
Yeah.
There's a new weapon, so they still have Encarmine Blades, but there's a new weapon called Encarmine Spears, which has the Lance ability. But the Encarmine Blades have gone up to -3.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to use those. The Spear is Lance, but only -2, and they're all 2 damage. I think I'm going to stick with the -3 because that sounds fun.
Okay.
We'll see. I'll probably change my mind because they are with spears. I'll come back to you. There's no cost in it. I might have to think about this.
Right.
That's all the gold. Brutalis Dread is in the normal book. You do what you do.
Yes.
Land Raider.
There is a Brutalis Death Company Dread now.
There is. I haven't painted
which
mine
is
yet.
a lot more points because Brutalis Dreads reroll wounds in close combat. That's what they do.
Yes.
But the Death Company Brutalis Dread, because he's Death Company, rerolls hits because that's what Death Company does. So it's a lot more expensive because it rerolls all hits, it rerolls all wounds. It's got a 6-up, feel no pain as well, the Death Company one.
Toughness 10, 12 wound model, yeah.
And it's got a surge move.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hyper expensive. This a lot cheaper as it stands.
This is 160. That currently is 220.
Yeah, and Blood Angels and Brutalis Dread go together like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
They do. They do. The rest of this is basically, apart from one notable exception,
the red
basically
stuff.
the normal Space Marine Codex. So you've got Vanguard Vets here with
Yes.
the captain.
Yes.
We'll come on to enhancements in a moment. We've got assault intercessors with jump packs with a chaplain.
Chaplain still gives +1 to wound.
+1 to wound, and he does mortal wounds at the start of the fight phase on a roll. So I thought the mortal wound bomb that these guys naturally get with Hammer of Wrath plus another mortal wound bomb would be fun.
Yes.
And they're squishy, so you'll probably shoot them away. Mephiston has changed. He is no longer a leader, which is fun because people don't really like him, so he's not really ever going to lead people.
Right.
He's now lone op. He has fights first, which he always has, and he has a 4-up feel no pain alongside a 5-up invuln and 2-up save.
Oh.
He moves 7.
Yes.
He has the quickening. He can advance and charge.
He can advance and charge?
Naturally, yes.
On his own?
He has 2 pistol weapons, one of which is his psychic power and the other one's a big plasma pistol. And he also has a lethal hit psychic power sword, which does D3 damage and has 6 attack at strength 9 base.
Right.
So he's really strong. He's a sniper, basically. He's going to run in and try and wipe some more squads by himself. He also has transfixing gaze, which has changed. It used to change your weapon skill and attacks characteristics. Now it just stops you falling back if you fail leadership. And because he has fights first, that could be quite big.
Right.
So he's a beast, and always will be. But the 4-up feel no pain, I think, is the big real change for him.
Yeah, a 4-up feel no pain. Because you can modify AP up and down, and armour up and down. But basically, he's going to be shrugging half of everything that comes through to him.
Yeah.
I like him.
And he's only 125 points.
It sounds like an auto-include to me.
Yes.
Because he could also run off and do actions. He can do things on his own.
He can do his own thing.
Of course, if there's a Vindicare sniper out there that can snipe...
That's why Vindicares are good.
Yeah.
That's why they're good.
If they manage to hit anything.
If they manage to hit anything. Yeah. Story of my life. We've got a Lieutenant with a Blade Guard squad. These guys have been auto-include for me for the last few months.
Why are they auto-including Blood Angels?
Because +1 attack for Blade Guard is amazing, and then bringing them up to strength 7 with swords means they're mincing through things like Terminators quite happily.
Right.
The Lieutenant giving them lethal hits. It's just a murder, death, kill squad.
And the Lieutenant gives them the opportunity to fall back and charge.
Fall back, shoot and charge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's strong.
And they're jumping in a Land Raider.
Naturally.
So you have got some anti-tank, i.e. the Land Raider.
Yes.
Did you pay for any enhancements and things?
Yeah, I paid for 2.
Right.
So there's one really good one that I couldn't afford, and that gives once per game a fights first ability to a unit.
Ooh.
So that one time where you're in a clinch, you can go fights first.
Nice.
Which is fun. I
Fights
couldn't bring
first
that.
is
30
strong.
points.
It's
yeah.
strong.
I think that's the best one in this detachment. But there's
Right.
2 other good ones. One, Rage Fueled Warrior.
Okay.
Once per battle, you get sustained hits 3. I've given that to the Death Company captain because he mad.
Sustained hits 3.
Once per battle.
Once per battle.
Yeah, so when I know he's going to die the next turn, he has a chance to roll loads of extra hits.
So how many attacks does he have normally? Like 5 or 6?
5 with the fist, re-rolling everything, 6 on the charge.
So say you had like 5 6s with the fist.
Somehow, yes, that'd be a Yahtzee of 6s. He'd have an amazing amount of
That would be
attacks.
15 hits.
Yeah, with a power fist.
Right.
At strength 10.
Okay.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. The other one that I've taken is Gift of Foresight for my captain with jump pack over here.
Over here.
And he can, once per battle round, just after making a hit roll, wound roll, or importantly, saving throw,
Yes.
he can change it to a 6.
Okay. So you've got 2 once per battle enhancements. Don't forget that you've
This
got
is once per battle round.
once per battle round.
Yeah, the other one is once per battle.
Okay. And have you got characters leading every single unit here? Captain, Chaplain, Lieutenant, Dante, Lamar. Yeah, you have.
Yeah, it's how you play 40k, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Heroes of the Blood Angels, black, gold, and red represent. Now let's have a look at the Death Guard. Sultan,
Hi.
I had to bring Death Guard because Imperium versus Chaos, classic.
I think this is the first army I ever fought with my Blood Angels way back in 8th edition as well, so this works.
Yeah, it does work. And this is 2,000 points on the nose as well. And last time you brought a knight, so this time I'm bringing a knight. It's a Knight Abominant. He's the cheapest one, the cheapest knight that you can get. He has got a nice sting in the tail though.
He has a tail?
Yeah, he literally has got a tail. What he does is, as well as punch stuff and shoot stuff with all of his guns and all his punchy, he has got the opportunity to do a mortal wound to any enemy unit within 9 inches on a 3-up.
Nice.
Does a couple of mortal wounds here or there. He has a psychic power. More importantly, he's absolutely gorgeous. Look at him. Gloriously painted.
Got burbs.
He's got burbs all over the top of them. He's got this chaos symbol on top. He's gloriously painted by Den of Imagination Painting Studios. Sometimes I look at paint jobs that like professional painting studios do, and I think, how do they do that? I don't know how they did that. So Death Guard gets sticky objectives, and they also have contagions. If you get in a certain range of them, your toughness goes down, The Blood Angels will be coming at me and getting in range of them. And then on the new balance status lake thing, they also pick a second contagion. And the one that I like to pick is the one that reduces your armor as well. So if you get within 3, 6 or 9, depending on the turn number, your toughness goes down, your armor save goes down. All of this stuff doesn't benefit the knight, by the way. It just benefits the Death Guard. And leading the Death Guard is Typhus. He's got a lovely mortal wound sting in the tail as well. And I had to give you something big and chonky to throw yourself at. So a unit of 10 Blight Lord Terminators. And when Typhus leads a unit, they're -1 to hit.
Nice.
So maybe they'll stay alive. Because the last couple of times I brought them along, they do get nuked in like one turn. People like focus on them, kill them. So they are terrifying. A couple of Blight launchers in there, a couple of Flails of Corruption in there. Typhus can help keep them alive. And then I brought along a Foul Blightspawn, who'll be joining a unit of 10 Plague Marines in a Rhino. Foul Blightspawn, Zoltan, gives them fight first.
Yeah, I've been caught by that a couple of times.
Fight first.
Yeah.
And because they're a punchy unit, I've actually got 5 heavy bubotic weapons in that squad here, because you can bring 2 for every 5 dudes, and the sergeant equivalent can bring 1 as well. So the equivalent of 5 plague fists in there with lethal hits. A couple of plasma guns in there. So fight first on him. In the Rhino, quite chonky. Typhus, quite chonky with Blight Lord Terminators. A Knight, which definitely isn't going to die in turn 1. Quite chonky. And then we needed stuff to score and pressure and speed around all over the place. So a couple of units of Poxwalkers. They can do secondaries and things like that. I've got triple drones. I like the Spitty drones. The 2 Plague Spitter drones at the front. They have anti-infantry 2+. They're quite nice. But because I got 3, I brought 1 with the heavy blight launcher, which is going to hang in the backfield, shoot things. Drones have a roar, so they can fall back, shoot and charge, which is quite nice. And then over here is my anti-tank. Didn't know how much tank you were going to bring. So 2 Mephitic Blight Haulers, 2 Plague Burst Crawlers. The Mephitic Blight Haulers get +1 to wound when they shoot vehicles. You've got 2 vehicles. And then some tanks with those mortars with their indirect fire. So a chunky, strong list full of stench and corruption. My Death Guard are called the end of all things. And today might be the end of all things for the Blood Angels. And it was at this point I realised I hadn't even shown off the board yet. I think every now and then when I set up a table, I'm like, that looks good. I'm quite impressed by this one. The battle mat is from gamemat.eu. And all the trees and all these craggy crags that you can see, I made them. There's a tutorial in the tutorial section.
Classic.
So classic. I made these ages ago, but they always come in very handy because they're big, they block line of sight, and because there's a new codex and we've got new enhancements and new stratagems and things, we're going back to the well and playing Dawn of War with Take and Hold. So that is the one where you get 5, 10, 15 points on the primaries from turn 2 onwards. Dawn of War deployment, taken home, classic. And then we've got swift action, which allows battle line units to still do actions if they advance or fall back. And I don't think you brought any battle line units with you.
No point.
You didn't bring any battle line units.
Useless. Don't have swords.
I've got 1 battle line unit. I got the Plague Marines. So they will have the opportunity to fall back and advance and do actions, maybe if that comes up. But yeah, lots of line of sight blocking all over the place. This should be a good... I'm looking forward to this one.
So am I. I'm a little bit frightened after seeing your blob of Terminators, but we will see if I can carve them up.
Dude, every time I go against the Blood Angels, I'm a little bit frightened too. They're so fast, they're so punchy, they're so quick. This is going to be you realise there's going to be a murder fest. There's not going to be a lot left by turn 2.
Yeah, well, the detachment's rule is called the Red Thirst, so
right.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Let's roll the dice, see who goes
Let's
first.
go for it.
After you.
That
was a 2. Ooh. And I've rolled a 3. It's the I've forgotten. I was going to say Death Company, not Death Company.
So I can go first.
Death Guard turn 1. Then it occurred to me that I didn't show you what it looked like after deployment. So here we are, stretched out all the way across the line. None of the Death Guard units are in reserve. A little bit of Poxwalkers on the right flank, a little bit of Poxwalkers on the left flank. Typhus and his team of Blight Lord Terminators ready just to push up the middle of the table. And the Knight is close by because I didn't know whether he wanted to cut right or cut left. I also had deploy first, go first. So you were able to counter deploy quite heavily, which is why you won't be able to see very many of the Blood Angels, because large line of sight blocking terrain is all over the place. Round this side is the Brutalis Dreadnought and the red contingent.
Yes.
In the middle is the black contingent.
This might be a mistake given you have mortars, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Blade Company...
Blade Guard with the Lieutenant and Mephiston are in the tank.
Mephiston in there as well.
Yeah.
And then the Golden Boys are on the right flank, and you didn't put anything in reserve either.
No.
You've got the opportunity to deep strike in somewhere, but why not? Why not deep striking in?
Because combat armies need to hit at the same time to be effective.
That's good. That's a top tip, a Sultan top tip there. Yeah, don't just charge with one thing, charge with four things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we already know who's going first. I'm not sure if I want first turn, because it just puts me closer and closer and closer to the Blood Angels punch. But Tzeentch says we must go first, and we don't like Tzeentch when Nurgle, so let's take a look at these orders in Death Guard turn 1. My orders are marked for death. Got to pick 3 enemy units. If I kill one of them, I get points. That's going to be tricky in turn 1. I'm not going to be able to bring much gun to bear. Area denial, though, take the centre. Should be able to get that one. So, in the command phase, Sultan selected his Land Raider, Lamarties of the Death Company, and the Dreadnought as the mark for death units. I need to kill them, then I'll get some points. The only thing that can really see Lamarties is indirect fire mortars, and Lamarties, when he's part of a unit, reduces damage by 1. So I don't think the indirect fire mortars are going to do much damage to him. And then I moved. And I'm thinking on this flank, we've got Dante and 6 Sanguinary Guard. And this is a fights first unit of Plague Marines with the 5 Foul Blight spawn in. Surely they'll be fine, right? If Dante and the Sanguinary Guard charge them, I'm going to do some wounds to them first, before they kill them all, and I need to lock down an objective, so I'm trying to lock down that objective. In the middle, I didn't want to put the Terminators running straight up the centre for everything that's going to come storming out of the Land Raider and the Death Company and everything, so I shifted the Knight across to take the charge and put a couple of units up the centre, up the gut there. There's the Mephitic Blight Hauler. Can't actually see the land. I can see the spawn soon, so we're not calling that. I can't see the Land Raider. I've got the drone there as well. This Mephitic Blight Hauler can see through that tree and hit the Land Raider. Get a couple of tickles in. Plague Burst Mortars back here. Can't really see anything, but interact firepower. And then there's some Poxwalkers just chilling over here, wondering what all the fuss is about. Putting the Blight Hauler in the middle of the table is offering up that unit for death, but it does get me points for area denial. And we have got the other Mephitic Blight Hauler, which can see the Land Raider, so it's shooting at it. Multi-melters on 3s, and it would be 5s to wound, but 4s to wound, because that's what they do. And you've got cover, so that's AP -4 becomes AP -3.
Make neither.
Ooh, 2d6 damage. 8 damage, I'll definitely take that. Let's fire a rocket launcher in as well, which misses. So it's on 8 wounds remaining, and then there's 2 Plague Marines over here with plasma guns, which are also going to shoot at it. Of course I'm overcooking. It's really old. The trigger guard has been stuck down for the last 10,000 years.
Like tentacle round.
Going to need a 5. Doesn't wound. They are hazardous. I don't die. Here's all the bolt guns that can fire in as well. These need 6s. Those ones are lethal, so 2 top saves from the bubotic bolt guns. Snake Eyes. That's pretty much it for all the stuff that can hit the Land Raider. I've got some mortars here, the Knight, and this is the Heavy Blight Launcher drone. And the Knight and the Heavy Blight Launcher drone can see Lamarties and his unit. Do I bother shooting at them? Yes, let's shoot at Lamarties and his unit. Here's the Heavy Blight Launcher, which hits on... Oh, misses 5 times, that's what it does. It's strength 8. It does wound, and it's -2, that's -1, loads of cover in the way. And it would be 2 damage.
I'm good.
But you make the save anyway. The Knight Abominant, firing in his Volkite Combustor at the same unit. It's on 3s. And then the Volkite Combustor strength 12. AP dash though. So 2s to wound, 6s. 6s are devastating.
I'm spending a command point on Angelic Grace.
See the what
when
now?
mortal wounds are allocated, I get a 5 up feel no pain to those mortal wounds.
Okay.
And devastating wounds are mortal wounds.
Okay. So it's 3 damage a time, but that becomes 2 damage a time, 2 damage a time, and then these are normal saves.
So those are 3 ups.
Yep, 3 up saves on the normal attacks.
I make one of them.
Ooh.
And then I've got 6 up, feel no pains to...
2, 2 and 2. Yeah.
So let's do these first.
Okay.
So 6 ups, dead, dead, dead.
Right.
And then 5 ups on these 2.
Okay.
Alive with 1 wound, dead.
I killed 4.
Yes.
So, Tim.
Hello.
Thanks for rolling really badly.
I'm doing so poorly this turn.
I know. So it's just Lamarties and a guy left in that.
Yeah,
squad,
you're supposed to run them as big 10-man squads, but I wanted to bring the captain as well, so yeah.
Lamartie's new model, right?
Yes.
It'd be a shame to kill him in turn 1.
Well,
so
every single model you just shot at is new.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why you're failing all the saves, because of new model syndrome. So what I'm going to do is fire Plague Burst Mortar, number 1, up and over, down into this squad. It occurs to me that I should have fired this first, because it has blast. So D6 plus 3 shots, 9 shots. Which will hit on 4s because it's indirect. Those are lethal. And it's strength high, so it wounds on 2s. It's -1, but full cover because I can't see you. So 3 up saves. And that 2 damage becomes 1 damage.
So on the guy, 2 6 up, feel no pains. Doesn't make either he's dead. Lamarties is by himself.
Just Lamarties on his own, and I've got 1 more Plague Burst Crawler. Can I kill Lamarties in turn 1? I wanted to see what he could do, Zoltan.
Well, you shouldn't have shot him then.
Number of shots. I've only got 4 shots. He's going to live.
He's not -1 damage in. Oh, it's 30 years. It's the same.
He's still going to... They all hit.
2s.
They all wound.
Make them all.
He makes all of his saves. That's the end of my shooting phase. I haven't got any more shots and things.
Hello.
Who the what now?
Well, you killed his unit, so does that count for your points?
No, because the way it works is the unit that you allocated was him and the things that he was attached to.
Okay.
Now they're 2 separate units. I killed a unit, but not the whole unit that was allocated. So I don't get the mark for death stuff. Mind you, if he comes jumping out of cover anytime soon, and I shoot him in your turn and kill him in your turn and punch him in your turn, then I will get the mark for death points. But I think I'd rather have the CP. So I'm probably going to ditch the marked for death card. I get 5 points for holding on to that objective in the middle of the battle grid. And now we go on to Blood Angels turn 1. So it's 5-0 and the Blood Angels want to mark something for death as well. And they want to storm a hostile objective. The Blood Angels launch their assault against the filthy traitors. Down this side of the battle grid, things are quite quiet. There's only a unit of Poxwalkers over here. And the Knight that could cut this way if it wants to. I did a bit of a refused flank deployment, putting most of my stuff on one side of the battle grid because I didn't want to be assaulted all the way across the line. So there's a couple of units of red guys over here with not a lot to punch at right now, and Lamarties is staying back, holding on to this objective, perhaps doing the last rites for the Death Company that got smashed here by the Plague Burst Mortar that came in. And he's past his battle shock now after getting hit by the mortars, so he's good there. In the middle, however, there's been a serious push. Mephiston is out, the Blade Guard are out, the Death Company are out, led by a captain, and you've already stormed a hostile objective. As for the units that are marked for death, I thought the Knight is definitely going to get it in this turn, so I didn't mark him. Instead, I marked Typhus and his big unit of 10 Terminators and the 2 Plague Burst Crawlers in the backfield, because I don't think I'm going to lose them in turn 1, hopefully. And then Fly is a horrible rule, which means you've got to measure along and then and down. So instead of them jumping straight up and over, they had to come round and through the trees, the Golden Boys, and they're looking at a Fights First unit of Plague Marines, but also that Mephitic Blight Hauler down this side as well. Dante is in a target-rich environment. Finally, the Knight has been declared the Oath of Moment target. I'm not spending any CP on Overwatch because I've got some drones here and some drones there, but I want to keep the CP in my pocket for defensive stuff because the punch of the Blood Angels can be absolutely brutal. So we're opening up the shooting phase with the Land Raider putting everything into Knight Abominant.
3s.
Yes, with Oath of Moment. Everything hits.
Strength 12, toughness 12.
Yes.
Is 4s. 2 wounds.
2 wounds, 2 5+ invulnerable saves coming up. I'm making both.
There you go.
HK.
Hits. Doesn't wound.
Okay.
Multi-melter.
Yes.
Misses.
Oath.
Misses.
Oh no.
Storm bolter. Misses.
Re-rolling. 2 hits. You need 6s.
Misses.
Nothing. I'm getting sad about your shooting phase.
Misses with the bolter.
Heavy bolter.
Misses.
Twin. Yes.
Doesn't wound.
Twin linked. Doesn't wound. All the shots from the Land Raider bounce against the steel hide of that abominant. What are we doing next, Sultan?
The Sanguinary Guard are going to shoot the Fights First unit with everything they have.
Okay. Starting with the Angelus bolt guns. Hitting on 2s because of Dante.
Yes.
And there's a few 1s. Your dice rolling is making me sad. Strength.
4.
Toughness 5. 3 wounds. Any AP on Angelus bolt guns? Because I'm stood right in the open.
No.
I failed one of them. 1 wound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then a Melter Pistol, which hits on a 2.
Yes.
And Strength 8, wounds on a 3. Wounds -4.
No save.
D3 damage, but 1 was wounded.
Okay.
Should have done that first.
You nuke 1. We'll do the D3 for the thing. Let's say you shot it
sure?
first. Yeah. That's what you would have done.
3.
New models, new things. Okay, so 1's dead, 1's on a wound. Dante has his perdition pistol.
Yes, so he hits on a 2.
Okay. Yes.
He will wound on Strength 9, he'll wound on a 3. -3.
Okay, I need a
4, sorry.
Well, no save.
D6.
Right, well, that's 6. See, you rolled a 6 when you didn't need the 6.
Yeah.
You nuked 2 of the Plague Marines. Then we move down the line to the Blade Guard, firing everything at the Blight Hauler. Just anti-infantry weaponry there, bouncing off the Blight Hauler, causing no wounds. But Mephiston is stood there, and he's got a psychic attack.
Yes. So he's also got a plasma pistol. So we'll do the psychic first. He's doing the hazardous version.
Right.
So he has 3 attacks, which hit on 2s. 6s are sustained, hits 3.
Right.
It's strength 5.
So 5 still wound.
That's 3 at -2 D3 damage.
D3 damage a time. So I need 5 up and vulnerable saves. I fail them all.
3 D3.
You could potentially one-shot it.
1,
no.
2, 3, 4.
4 wounds. Then he fires his plasma pistol, which hits.
Strength 8.
And it wounds.
-3.
And I make the save.
2 hazardous checks. He takes 3 damage, but he has a 4 up, feel no pain. So he takes 1 damage.
So Mephiston's on 5 wounds. That Hauler is on 6 wounds, and the Death Company are going to shoot it as well. There's a Melter pistol in there.
On a 3, hits. Will wound on a 5. Nope.
3 heavy bolt pistols as well, which hit on 3s and wound on 6s. No.
Plasma pistol hits.
Doesn't wound. Death Company Captain has a plasma pistol as well, which hits and wounds on a 5. It doesn't wound either. That's all the gunfire in the centre. And then what's that coming over the hill? Is it a dreadnought? Is it a dreadnought? 2 multi-melters staring right at the Hauler. And they both hit.
Strength 9, toughness 9, so 4s. 2 wounds, -4.
Okay, 5 up and vulnerable saves. I fail them both. 2d6 damage.
Twin link, yeah.
It's got 1 wound remaining. 6 shots. Icarus on top. Hitting on 3.
Wounding on 6s. 1 wound.
There's
Twin
a wound.
linked though, hold on.
Okay, right, yeah, okay, right. 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves or death. Death. Does it blow up? No, it doesn't. So that's it for the shooting phase. Absolutely horrible shooting phase, but you did manage to take down that Blight Hauler, which will help keep the Land Raider alive. And now you've got some charges.
Yes.
Nothing's going to be happening over the left flank. Actually, I say that again, but we measured up beforehand. It's a 10-inch charge into those Poxwalkers if you want to charge off that objective. Or
I'm going to let the dice decide that one.
Okay.
So if they make it, then great. But if not, then they've got an objective.
Okay, so let's see if you roll a 10 or not. Let's see what Zinch says. Zinch says the blood isn't flowing.
That's fine.
Okay, in the centre, what are we doing?
So we do Death Company, which is a 2-inch charge into there.
Into the drone.
Yeah.
Do I overwatch? I've got 3 CP there because I ditched. I think I overwatch you.
Okay.
I think we're going to overwatch you. We'll do some overwatching. That's the number of auto hits, which is 6 auto hits. These wound on 2s, anti-infantry 2 up. And you need 5 up saves against that because of contagions and things. And each does 1 damage. You get the 6 up, feel no pains.
No, you kill a guy.
And melt 1 on the way in. And then you can hardly fail the charge. And the Death Company engage the drone. Now the Blade Guard veterans want to charge the Knight. It's a 7-inch charge to make that abominant. And that's a 5 command point? Or you're holding on to it for now?
I'm going to have to use it.
Yeah. And that's a 7. You just make it in there. And then you were also charging with Dante?
Yeah, this is a 6-inch charge.
Into what now?
The Hauler.
You're not charging the Fight First unit?
Why would I?
Scared of some Plague Marines.
Well, yeah, I've charged a dreadnought into them before, and because of their silly big weapons, they murdered it.
Okay.
So I'm avoiding them.
Okay.
This is a 6.
Right.
They didn't want it.
So on the right flank, the stench of the Death Guard keeps Dante's unit back. And there is a melter looking at him. And there's guns looking at him. But in the centre, you did manage to get in a good couple of charges. We have the Blade Guard. We have the Knight Abominant. I do have a couple of CP. I could potentially interrupt. So we're starting with the Blade Guard. So the Blade Guard pile in. All of them can fight. They're hitting on 3s.
Yes.
It's Oath of Moment. There's a lieutenant there, so lethal hits on 6s, and that's a lot of 6s. We roll in for Oath. There's even more 6s. I think your shooting phase was horrible, but clearly they were just waiting to get in combat.
Apparently, yeah. But the weird thing is, it's not the knight I'm scared of.
Right.
It's everything else.
10 lethal hits, dude.
Yeah, strength 7.
5s to wound with all the rest. 12 wounds in total. -2. 12 come through. There is a world where you one-shot it. If I fail every single save.
You're all right.
I don't fail every single save. Take off 14 wounds, however. Here's the lieutenant.
2s.
Yes.
Re-rolling.
Okay.
And then 5s.
And that is 5 more wounds. Is this a Mastercrafted Power Sword?
It is.
So these are all 5-up saves as well. That is 18 damage you did on the knight. It's got like 4 left. 4 left, hacking at its kneecaps, tearing apart pipes. It's leaking fuel and pus all over the place. Now the Death Company attack the drone.
Starting with the captain, I'm going to spend his enhancement because I think you're going to shoot him next turn.
Right.
So he's going to have sustained hits 3.
Okay.
So he hits on 2s, re-rolling everything.
Okay. What's he got in his hand?
A power fist. So my enhancement's spent and didn't do anything.
Okay.
And then he will wound on strength 10.
Wounds on 3s. He wounds 4 times.
-2.
5-up and vulnerable saves. I take 6 damage. It's on 4 wounds left. And then the Death Company fight.
So we're starting with an Eviscerator.
Yep.
He hits on 4s. Re-rolling, doesn't need to. That's
Okay.
sustained hits 1.
Nice.
Strength 7, strength 9 now. It's 4s.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, -2.
5 and vuns. Dead.
2 damage ago, yeah.
So that was just the captain and 1 Death Company guy. Killed that drone before anything else. Okay. Does the drone blow up? The drone does blow up. Does a mortal wound to everyone, including my knight. So the knight's on 3 wounds remaining. The Death Company pile into him. Of course, the Blade Guard have piled in as well, including on the other side of the rock pile there. They're probably going to get countercharged by a lot of Blight Lord Terminators. But at least my knight can punch back. Let's hit the Blade Guard. They're scarier with the Electro Scourge. I'm hitting on 4s because he's injured. And that's pretty good hitting. 6s are sustained, so everything hit in the end. Strength 9. Strength 10, sorry. So 2s to wound. 3 damage a time. But you've got 4 up and vulnerable saves. And you're re-rolling saves of 1. Because that's what Blade Guard do. And there's 3 1s. So it's a good job you turn that one on.
Still, so you kill 4.
Wow. Then the Bale Mace thumps out and completely misses. That was a swish from his tail. And at the end of turn 1, you've taken down a Blight Hauler and have surrounded the knight there, but only 2 Blade Guard veterans left with the lieutenant, and they're right in front of the Death Guard lines. You have stormed a hostile objective for 4 points for taking the central objective, and at the start of turn 2, I'm going to get 10 points for being on these 2 objectives here. But honestly, it's been a disappointing start for the Blood Angels. They should have killed a lot more. Some failed charges, the Land Raider not killing anything in the shooting phase. Now the Death Guard need to capitalise on this in turn 2. 15-4 for the Smelly Boys, and I need to get behind enemy lines, which I can't do, and start defending my stronghold, which I should be able to do. So I had to fall back with the Knight Abominant. If it had stayed in close combat, defenders fight first. He's on 3 wounds. It had been torn down. So I've pulled him back. I've pulled the Blight Lord Terminators with Typhus in front. And hopefully they should be able to clear away this mess right in front of me. The Knight Abominant as well has got a little psychic attack, which you should still be able to do because it's not a shooting attack. So kill all of them in front of me and start defending my stronghold. And I've got 2 tanks and the drone that was up there He's zipped down. I've got a lot of things on my stronghold. Should be able to defend it okay. On this side, the Poxwalkers are running for the corner because I rolled to advance them. The idea was they only move 4. And if I got a good advance, I could have ran onto this objective and OC'd you off of it. But I rolled really low. So instead, they're pulling back into the corner. And if you want to chase a unit of Poxwalkers into the corner of the battle grid, I'm happy with that. What are they doing in the corner of the battle grid? Maybe they'll get me a secondary later on. Or maybe they're chasing bunnies. And they want to turn the bunnies to Nurgle. Give them a bit of Nurgle's loving. So yeah, get rid of the stuff in the middle. That leaves Land Raider, Mephiston, and all of this hate over here still rocking around. And then on this side of the battle grid, I can't get behind enemy lines. But what I can do is throw some Plague Marines into Dante's unit, along with all the guns over here. Try and whittle him down. I'm under no illusion that I can take him out in one turn, but I'm interested to see what this can do. So let's start here. Let's start shooting him. So I fired the Rhino in. It did nothing. Let's go on to the drone. How many auto hits? Just 4 auto hits. These are wound on 2s. So wound all the time. And it goes straight to your invuln because of contagions. And I do 2 wounds. And they have 3 wounds each. So let's fire the Plague Bolt guns in. I've got 2 of them left. They hit on 3s. No lethals there. I need 4s. 1 wound. That'll be a 3-up save. That's really cocked. And okay, all right. And then some plasma. Do we overcook the plasma?
Maybe do 1 at a time. 1 not overcooked.
Yeah, that's a really good guy. 1 not overcooked. Hits once and wounds.
Minus a bunch.
And the 4-up and bun. Okay. And then the one that is overcooked. I hit once and wound again. No, it's strength. Yeah, I do wound. Save. And you make that save. And then hazardous on the one that was overcooked, which isn't the Sarge. And he's dead. He's dead. He's been lugging around that gun for 10,000 years, and it chooses this moment to blow up in his face.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah. Now, the wise choice would be to shoot the Mephitic Blighthauler into Land Raider, but I really need to keep weakening down Dante's unit. So we'll fire everything from that into them. I'll do it all at the same time because it all hits and wounds the same. Actually, the multi-melters might be...
more damage.
So 1 hit, 1 wound with a multi-melter, 4-up and bun. That's really cocked again. No, D6 damage. Are you in melter range? I am in melter range. That kills 1. And then the missile launcher hits and wounds and a 4-up and bun. And you make it. So a crap ton of firepower washed into the Golden Boys, only taking 2 of them down. 4 left with Dante facing 8 Plague Marines in the assault phase. Well, we'll find out how that happens, what goes on there. I need to do the Night Abominance ability. I forgot to do it. Should have done it at the end of the movement phase. Basically, you select every enemy unit within 9 inches, which would be the Death Company and the Blade Guard. I need a 3. Here's the Blade, that's the Blade Guard. And then the Death Company, they're both hit. The Blade Guard.
Spending a CP on Angelic Grace to give them a 5 no pain to this.
Okay, D3 on the Blade Guard. Mortal wounds for 2 mortal wounds. And Angelic Grace doesn't kick in. One of them takes 2 mortal wounds and one of them was on 2 wounds and he's gone. And the Death Company takes 2 wounds as well.
Dead.
Wow. Okay. Let's fire the drone into the... Do they reduce all damage by 1 as well? The Jumpy Death Company? Because I want to shoot the Heavy Blight Launcher in. It was just a Lamati's thing, right? Uh-huh. Okay. So the Heavy Blight Launcher hits on 3s. This will wound on 2s. You need 6s because of contagions. You make 2 6s. And 2 damage a time.
Shrugs 1.
But he was injured.
He was injured, so 2 die.
So 2 boys in black remain. 2 boys in red. Now the Blight Lord Terminators will fire everything at the boys in black. 2 Blight Launchers hitting on 3s. That's lethal. And these are going to wound on 2s because contagions. And those are 2 5-up saves. And that's 2 damage. So 2 6-up feel no pains and 1 still alive. Here's all the Plague Combi Bolters into the boys in black. 6s are lethal. These wound on 3s. 10 4-up saves. And then the feeling of the pains.
So 1 guy's on 1 wound, so I'm going to have to start with him. He's dead, and then the captain takes a wound.
So the Death Company captain's down to 4 wounds remaining, and Callus Typhon does his Eater of Plagues psychic power into the Blade Guard veterans, because they have the invulnerable save, you see. So don't roll a 1. Drop dice don't count. That's a 4. D3 mortal wounds, and you've still got a feel no pain on that unit. And they feel the pain. One of them goes, the sergeant goes down to 1 wound remaining. Finally, we have the Plague Burst Crawlers left to fire. This tank on the right, entropy cannons, can sneak through and see that Land Raider. So we'll fire on that. And then the mortar and the gun, I feel like it's a waste putting them in on these 3 models right in front of the Blightlord Terminators. I think I've got this in close combat. But he can't see anything directly. So, but we might as well fire up and over and try and hit some red boys over here for D6 plus 3 shots, which becomes plus 4 shots because of blast. And this will hit on 4s and 6s are lethal, and wound on 2s, and you get a full 3-up save against that. And you make every single save. And let's do the entropy cannons into Land Raider. And one of them hits and is lethal, and the other one needs a 5. That'd be a 4-up save with cover. And you fail to save. D6 plus 1 damage for 2 damage. Tank number 2 can't see the Land Raider, so he's going to put straight shots with the entropy cannons into that Death Company. Captain, and the mortar up and over into these fellas one more time. And this time I have more shots, which hit on 4s, 6s are lethal, and that one will wound on a 2. Okay, so that is only 3 wounds in total, 3-up saves.
Kill 1.
I do take out one of them. You should take a battle shock test from a Plague Burst mortar, but in your command phase, you're going to pass the battle shock test and take that objective anyway. Just rolled a 9 below my camera there, so they're going to be fine. But I nuked 1, and then 2 entropy cannons into Death Company Captain in the face. And both of them hit. Strength really high. Both of them wound. 2 4-up Iron Halo saves. He makes 1, fails 1. This is D6 plus 1 damage. He's got 4 wounds remaining. And he gets taken out. Oh no, feel no pain. Death Company. He gets taken out. So at the end of the shooting phase, I'm locking down my stronghold. I've shot lots and lots of infantry. Now the Blightlord Terminators are going to go charging in to those. I'm not going to declare Mephiston as well, because if I fail the charge, you fail. So just the Blade Guard right in front, and that's a 5. We make the charge, and then over here, the Plague Marines into Dante's unit, and that's a 4. So we'll start with the Plague Marines versus Dante. I think I'm going to spend a CP on sustained hits. And you're spending a CP on something?
Savage Echoes. On your charge phase, I can either choose to have +1 attack,
Yes.
or +1 strength,
Yes.
or I can fall to the Red Thirst and become battle shocked and get both.
Right.
So I'm doing that.
For Dante?
Yeah,
or
and
the
I
whole
need
unit?
you to take a battle shock test.
Okay. Otherwise, I can't spend this stratagem on
At -1, you're good.
I'm fine. So I spent the CP on Sanguious Flux, but you're -1 to hit. So here's the Plague Knives. They're hitting on 4s. Brilliant. Just 2 hits. You're also -1 to wound.
Yeah.
But I'm strength 4 versus your toughness 3 right now, which goes back. So 4s to wound you. I wound twice. No AP, but -1 to your armor. Tickles a wound off of one of them. I've got 5 heavy plague weapons in that squad, which are 4s to hit. But at -1 to hit, this is 5s. Only a third of these are going to get through, which is why I spent that CP on sustained hits. So I'm looking for 6s, really.
They're lethal as well.
I've got 3 through, so they're lethal and sustained because they're plague. Would be 2s to wound, but 3s to wound. So in the end, 7 wounds come through. 7 4-up and vulnerable saves. And only 3 of them get through it. 2 damage each.
Kill 1, kill 2.
Just 2? Oh no, I'm in trouble. Sultan's out of CP to interrupt, but before we do the fight with the Blightlord Terminators, I want to find out how this fight goes with the Sanguinary Guard versus the Plague Marines. So let's do their fight back. 1 minute, I forgot the Foul Blight Spawn, so I just did the attacks from the Foul Blight Spawn and no further wounds were caused. And one more thing, I was just looking over my shoulder there to see how many CP I had left. I had 2 CP left, so I've spent them on Disgustingly Resilient. It reduces all incoming damage by 1. I'd rather keep my Plague Marines alive. Here's Dante. He's hitting on 2s. And you spent a thing to 5s and 6s do a thing?
Nope, nothing like that at all.
What was the CP that you spent?
Just +1 attack.
+1 attack.
Strength, yeah.
+1 attack on strength for your CP. Right.
So strength 9 now.
Okay.
So 3s.
Yes. That is 5 wounds. AP.
-3.
-3. So I need 6s. How much damage?
It would have been 2.
So 1 each. Yeah. So that kills 2 Plague Marines because they're disgustingly resilient. Now the Sanguinary Guard.
2s.
Yes. And then stress 1 strength and attack. Right, okay. Strength.
7.
Okay. 4 at -3. I need 6s again, and it would be 2 damage, but it becomes 1 damage, and you kill 2 more. You would have killed 8, but you kill 4 because I spent that CP. And at the end of all that, 4 Plague Marines left. They would have been wiped out, locking up Dante and those 2 remaining Sanguinary Guard. Right, okay. Let's come back over here, find out how these Terminators get on versus this Lieutenant and the Blade Guard. And a bajillion dice rolls later, and those last 2 models have been removed. There's nothing they could do against Typhus and 10 Umberlight Lord Terminators. And more importantly, after I've wiped them out, that allowed me to consolidate forward and onto that objective there, outscoring Mephiston. Stop Sultan getting an extra 5 points. He'll end up getting 5, 10 points on the primary for being on these 2 objectives here. I don't pick up anything on the secondary because I start defending my stronghold now and need to hold it until the end of Sultan's turn, but I've got 4 vehicles stood on it, so that should be enough to lock it down. While the Land Raider is bracketed, the Brutalis Dreadnought is still fully combat effective, plus there's 2 units of jumpy dudes around here that can still cause damage, with a chaplain in one and a captain in another, and Dante's still very much alive. So let's find out what the orders are for the Blood Angels in turn 2. So it's 15 to 14, there's 1 point in it, and the Blood Angels also want to defend their stronghold. An assassinated character, either Typhus or that foul Blightspawn. In the command phase, when it rains, it pours. Lord Commander Dante is battle-shocked, and the Land Raider is battle-shocked. And then you spent the CP on what now?
Aggressive onslaught to get these guys advancing round to charge the... They can advance and charge now, basically.
With aggressive onslaught?
Yeah.
Advance and charge. So they zipped all the way around there. Team number 2 has zipped all the way around here. Brutalis Dreadnought has climbed up and over the rock face, and there's Mephiston as well. So it looks like you're going to put multiple units into the Blight Lord Terminators, who are now the Oath of Moment target, while Lamartes defends the objective back here. Start with the Land Raider, firing everything in, hitting on 4s with the las cannons, re-rolling everything because of Oath of Moment. And you get 3 hits, which wounds on 2s. They all wound. 4 up and vulnerable saves. I fail every single one. First one, kills one. Second one, kills another. Third one, kills another. That's 3 of them dead already. And then there's 2 multi-melters on top. These hit on 4s, and they both hit. And these wound on that. 4 up and vun. And you're in that's fine. 3 dead so far. Heavy bolters coming in. Hitting on 4s. And then Oath of Moment with sustained hits. And then 5s to wound, but they're twin linked. There's nothing. 3 dead Blight Lords so far. The Stormbolter on top tickled in as well, but didn't kill any more. Now we're on to the Brutalis Dreadnought. Firing in with his multi-melters. And Oath of Moment means only one of them hits. But it wounds. 4 up and vulnerable save. I am in melter range and I fail it, so that kills one. Icarus Bod, hitting on 3s, twin linked.
5s.
Wounding on 5s and twin linked, yes. The twin linked thing, just 2 wounds. Okay. Then we had some more shots coming in from the centre. The unit that advanced couldn't shoot, but the other unit, well, they fired in a bunch of pistols and they bounced off the Blight Lord Terminators. Talking about pistols, Dante and his team have got pistols against these Plague Marines. Who's firing first?
We do the Inferno pistol.
Okay.
On a 2.
It hits.
Wounds on a 3. -4.
No save.
D3 plus 2 damage.
It's right, okay. You nuke one of them. He's gone. There's 2 left.
Normal Angelus bolt gun. Which is this guy on 2s.
Yes.
And then 5s. 1 wound.
One wound. And 1 damage, 2 damage?
Just 1.
Okay.
And then Dante.
He hits.
And wound on a 3. Wounds -4.
-4.
D6, which just kills the guy.
Okay, so that leaves my Plague Champion and the Foul Blightspawn remaining locked up against those two Sanguinary Guards and Dante. That's pretty much it for the shooting phase, except for Mephiston, who stood there looking at these Blight Lord Terminators. He's got his psychic attack.
Yeah, 2s to hit.
And you're overcooking it. And you've got Oath of Moment. Snake Eyes there.
Wounds on a 5.
That wounds.
-2.
4 up and bun. I make my 4 up and bun.
Plasma pistol, overcooked.
Hits.
Wounds.
4 up and bun. I take 2 damage.
I'm good.
And then hazardous checks on both, right?
Oh yeah, and the psychic. He's not good. It takes,
Feel no pains.
takes 2 damage.
He's down to 3 remaining. Your dice rollers wing awful. I mean, you're failing all the hazarduses as well. Anyway, that's the end of the shooting phase. There's 6 Terminators left in the middle with Typhus. Will they be able to withstand all of these attacks? Not sure. But let's charge. We did a lot of dice rolling and everyone made the charge in the middle. That's 4 units charging those Blight Lord Terminators, the Brutalis, both of the units of Intercessors, Mephiston. Now, you've got impact hits, mortal wounds that happen in the charge phase and in the fight phase.
Yeah.
So we'll do them all together in a minute.
Okay.
Because first, we'll do this fight first and clean up over here first before we get to the mess in the middle.
So you have to take a battle shock test at -1.
Okay. I'm not battle shocked. And then the Foul Blight Spawn will try and hit you.
-1.
And he hits once and it isn't even lethal and he doesn't wound because you're -1 to wound. No, that does wound because your toughness goes down. And you're okay. And then the heavy thing, the heavy fist on my champion. He hits twice. One of them's lethal. This one will wound on a bat. And 2 for up and vulnerable saves.
Make one fail one.
I injure one. Knock one down to 1 wound remaining. I don't think they're long for this world. Anyway, let's do all these impact hits and all the stuff and all the things in the middle. I don't have the CP to interrupt. Brutalis?
I roll a d6 and
Yes.
tell me what it does.
Okay.
On a 3, that's d3 mortal wounds
Okay.
to you.
One's on a wound already.
So that's 3.
So that just runs one over. Brilliant.
So 6 guys with Hammer of Wrath with the Chaplain.
Okay.
4s do mortal wounds, there's 3.
Okay, that's another one dead. And then any more?
That's all the impact hits, but we'll start with the start of the fight phase hits now.
Okay. So at the start of the fight phase, the Chaplain.
Yeah. Need a 4 up. He fails.
Okay. But you do wipe out 2 Blight Lord Terminators before you even have to land a blow. Now let's fight. Right, we're piling everything in, and Mephiston fights first.
Yes.
So we're starting with Mephiston. -1 to hit with Typhus, though, so you're hitting on 3s.
3s. Re-rolling any misses, thanks to Oath of the Moment. We have a lethal hit and a miss.
Okay.
These are strength 11, so I'm wounding on 3s against Terminators.
Okay.
So I wound 5 times at -3.
5 times. -3. 5 for up and vulnerable saves. Drop dice don't count. I failed 3 of them. One was injured, so he's dead, and then D3 and D3. Not dead.
And then dead.
Dead. You killed 2. That leaves 2 left with Typhus, and then we're doing Vanguard Veterans.
Yes.
And they have a bajillion attacks because this detachment and Blood Angels.
5 attacks, strength 8 because of the captain and the buffs, but I'm going to spend the free CP on Red Rampage and choose the Lance ability.
Okay.
So this is one of those times where there's 4 stratagems in this detachment where you can fall to the Red Thirst and get 2 bonuses.
Right.
They already have lethal hits built in, so I don't need that. I think it's a really cool mechanic because you lose out, but you're more killy.
Fall to the Red First, get both bonuses, but count as battle shock.
Yes.
Or don't fall to the Red First.
Choose one.
That's so cool.
It is, especially when a unit already has something. So yeah. So I'm hitting on 4s with these guys, re-rolling everything. 6s are lethal.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I gotcha. 3 lethal so far, re-rolling. There's 5 more lethal coming there.
6.
Winning on 2s because of the Lance thing.
Yeah, a few misses there.
And 9 lethals we added up. 18 wounds. It's a lot of wounds. A lot of 3-up saves I need to make. It's not a lot of 3-up saves. That kills everyone except for Typhus, who's about to get stabbed in the back from the captain leading the Vanguard unit, hitting him on 3s.
Yes.
Oath of Moment.
He has lethal hits, that's cocked.
Okay.
He has lethal hits because of the Vanguard vets.
Right.
And then he's strength 8 with Lance, so 2s again.
Okay. So that is 3 wounds.
-2.
Drop dice don't count. 4 up and vulnerable saves. Typhus is on 4 wounds remaining. Are we doing the Brutalis?
Let's do a Brutalis.
We'll do the Brutalis.
So the fun fact, this isn't all Brutalis. You know, this is the exact same weapon the Death Company one has, but I think the Death Company one is -3.
Is it?
Yeah.
And reroll.
Yeah. So we're going to hit on 4s,
right.
re-rolling everything with Oath.
Oath of Moment. Yeah, because Dreadnought Fists are -2. What is that all about?
I don't know.
It should be
Blood
-1.
Talons, which is what the other guys have, are -3.
Okay.
So these are going to wound on 3s, strength 14, 2s.
Okay, strength
twin
14.
linked. Yeah, because I charged.
Right, okay.
Twin linked.
Okay. How much damage does this do?
3 a time.
3 a time.
You got 6 invuns.
Right, so I've got to make at least... I can't drop more than 1. 4 invulnerable saves. I drop more than 1. Even if I command point re-roll it, which I could do, then you've got all of these and the chaplain also punching Typhus as well.
Yeah.
So Typhus, he's gone. I think there's a flicker of a teleport, Homer, and he disappears from the battle grid and back on the bridge of the Terminus Est. Sultan, that was fake news. It isn't -3 on this thing.
Not for the Death Company version, no. I was looking at a stratagem the other day in the Death Company detachment that lets you add a bunch of cool stuff, including armor penetration to it.
And you could put it on the Dreadnought because it's Death Company Dreadnought.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've murdered me in the middle of the table. The unit of Template Lord Terminator is gone in a turn, and we've still got some more combat. We're over here with Dante and the 2 remaining Sanguinary Guard. If you take these out as well, that's all of my close combat punch gone, except for the Knight on 3 wounds remaining. I don't think he's long for the world. What we're starting off with?
We're going to start with Dante.
Right, okay.
He hits on 2s with 6s being lethal.
Okay. Well, there's a lethal. There's 2 lethals.
Strength 8 is 3s.
That is 6 wounds, AP.
-3.
I need 6s. No, they're dead. Dante consolidates onto this objective here, but I still control it with the 2 vehicles that I have here. And he's alive after withstanding all of those shots and that charge. How much longer will he be here though? Because there's a second round of shooting. But what a comeback for the Blood Angels.
He's been here the whole time.
They've started defending their stronghold. They have got Assassinate because they managed to take out Typhus. But I'm going to pick up 3 points for defending my stronghold down here, while Lamartes quietly defends his stronghold over there.
He's probably muted on the Vox. I think he's just screaming into his helmet.
What's just lost to the rage, going absolutely feral.
I mean, look at him. This is one of the best Space Marine models they've done.
I think it's so cool. Yeah. I really like the pose. I like the steps thing. I like everything about that one.
And they didn't Primarisify him because why would you do that to a Death Company guy?
Right.
So that's cool.
He's just hench.
He's just hench. Yeah, he's in just new armor. That's
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's add up all the points for defending, for assassinating, the 10 points I'm going to get on the primary. All of a sudden, I've got a lot of trouble in my lines. We knew it would be a brutal game. Both of us have lost about half of our army as we go into Death Guard, turn 3. So it's 28-19 in favour of the end of all things, and we want to bring it down. Get rid of that Land Raider, or that Brutalis. And storm a hostile objective, and that one might be a little bit tricky. After the movement phase, I've got a drone and a hauler locking down this objective, and they need to take out Dante and those last 2 Sanguinary Guard, and I don't fancy their chances. And because tank number 1 couldn't thread around there to get shots into Land Raider, tank number 1 has moved round, and he can get some shots into Dante's unit instead. That should be enough gun to get rid of Dante. Lord Commander of the Imperium Nihilus must fall. We're the end of all things, and half of the Empire is burning right now. I also moved the fetid bloke drone round with the heavy blight launcher around this way, so it could get some shots in as well. In case I fail to kill it with all the things, moving it around this way allows me to throw some shots into the red boys right in front. As for storm hostile objective, there's no way through all the mess. I'm just going to have to shoot, I'm going to have to charge, try and go stomping in there, and then bring it down. Means glory shots into Land Raider from tank number 2. I mean, I could put some shots into that Brutalis Dreadnought, but at the moment it's uninjured, and that Land Raider's down to 6 or 7 wounds, so I could potentially polish it off. As for the Poxwalkers, this unit ran up closer towards the objective. The Poxwalkers on the other flank ran round and embarked in this Rhino here, ready for it to chug up the battle grid and maybe score some secondaries later on. And as for defend the stronghold, well, Lamartes is doing that. He's going absolutely mad, attacking the rock face in front of him. But I could drop some mortars down. So scoring the secondaries is going to be tough this turn, but I have got 2 CP. And if I manage to get rid of Dante and 1 whole unit of Blood Angels right in front of me, that won't leave very much left for the Blood Angels, particularly if I get rid of that Land Raider as well. So while I might not be able to score big, hopefully I can kill big and make the Loyalists bleed. But first up, at the end of the movement phase, the Night Abominant unleashes a Warp Storm, hitting every enemy unit within 9 inches of him. And on a 3, it will do some damage. Let's hit Mephiston, does some damage. Let's hit the unit right in front, does some damage. The unit with the Chaplain will do some damage. And the Brutalis, not the Brutalis. So Mephiston, he'll take D3 mortal wounds for 1. And he's got feel no pain, and he doesn't feel the pain. He's okay. The unit right in front, the Vanguard Veterans, they take 2 mortal wounds. That will nuke one of them. And then the Assault Intercessors with the Chaplain, they only get tickled once. So the knight was injured. Wasn't able to summon much of a warp storm there. More of a warp breeze. Now he's going to shoot all of his guns into the Vanguard right in front. Hopefully clear them away. The idea is, if I clear them, I can charge further and drive the Blood Angels away from my lines. And at the start of the shooting phase, he's got Vortex, Terrors, forces Battle Shock on everyone in front of him. All the Battle Shock passed. Here's the Volkite Combustor. Forced to hit though. He's a little bit injured. Strength 12. 6s are devastating. That will nuke 1. And these are full armor saves, but they are 3 damage a time.
Make them, you kill a guy.
Just 1. Then I fired the Stubborn. Didn't do any damage. Okay, so he's killed 2 things. That's not a lot. We'll get back to him. That was disappointing. Let's come over here and kill the Lord Commander of Imperial Nihilus. Everyone likes it when Dante dies, particularly Chaos players. Here is 2 Plague Spitters coming in hot, and that is 8 auto hits. This wounds on 2s, Insult and Splinter CP on Armor or Contempt. So these are 3-up saves instead of 4-up saves. 3s. I do a wound. 1 was injured.
1 was on a wound, yeah.
Armor of Contempt helped a little bit there. 1 left with Dante. Then we fired in from the Rhino. Just bounced off your 2-up saves. Now we have the Mephitic Blight Hauler. Firing in with his multi-melter. It hits twice. Wounds twice. 2 invulnerable saves.
No.
Okay, that will kill the Sanguinary Guard because it's a minimum 3 damage. And it does D6 plus 2 damage to Dante.
Ooh.
Only 3 damage. He's taken a melter and he's lived.
It's never happened.
Never happened before.
You killed my banner.
I killed the banner. The banner fell.
I did a special.
Yeah, it was a lovely banner as well. Well, we're not going to CP reroll that because I've still got some more shots. I've got a missile launcher as well, which hits. It's a wound on a 2. That wounds. Dante needs another 4-up invulnerable save.
Okay, right. Sorry, I thought we were done, which is why.
No. And you make the 4-up invulnerable
Thank
save.
you, Black Matt.
Spits out some bile from his gob. That's a 1 hit, which is lethal. 3-up save against this. Dante's still good. Dante's still good. Okay, this is why we moved the tank around. So the tank is going to put 2 entropy cannons and the little stubby gun into him. And the mortar's going to try and kill Lamates, who's defending your stronghold. Here's the 2 entropy cannons to Dante. And they both miss. Of course they do. Of course he lives. He's the hero in this story, don't you know? 3s to hit with the heavy slugger. There's a strength 5. They're -1, which becomes -2 because of contagions and things. Your armor's dropped down. So 4-up saves.
Make 1 fail 1.
Takes a wound. He's down to 2 remaining. And let's fire a mortar up and over and put Lamates out of his misery. D6 plus 3 shots for 5 shots. We're going to hit him on 4s. We hit him once. Wound him on a 2. We wound him. He has a full armor save.
Full armor. 3-up save. He's good.
He's good. I've fired everything at Dante and he's still alive and still on 2 wounds remaining, and that's why I moved the fetid bloke drone round, because I knew I wouldn't be able to kill him. I knew we'd have to put in round after round after round. I've got a heavy blight launcher and I just need 1 of these to get through because it's 2 damage. So first, need to hit on 3s. None are lethal. 2s to wound him. I wound him 4 times. If you could fail every single one of your 4-up invulnerable saves, that'd be lovely. You don't have any CP.
He's dead.
Dante falls. Back to the middle where I still haven't brought anything down yet. So we need to bring something down. I could shoot up and over at Lamates, or I could put the shots into Land Raider. Mind you, Land Raider will get 2-up saves from the mortars. So yeah, the mortar will hit Lamates, everything else into Land Raider. Here's the shots into Lamates, and this time I have 7 shots. Can't see him, so I'm hitting them on 4s, and those are lethal. And these will wound him on 2s. And that's 4 wounds, 4 full armor saves.
He takes 2 damage.
2 damage.
Well, yeah.
He's still alive. And he fails his battle shock.
No, that was his...
Feel no pain. Okay. So he takes 2 wounds. Battle shock. Yeah, if you fail this, you won't defend the stronghold.
He fails.
And that's battle shocked. I've stopped you defending your stronghold. That worked. It's the first time that's ever worked. Right, 2 entropy cannons. Let's bring it down. Let's kill the Land Raider. You'd notice I haven't spent any CP on rerolls yet because I was holding on to this. 3s to hit. They both hit. Strength 10. I need 5s to wound. There's a wound. I'm going to CP that as well. I need it to wound. 2 wounds. -3 becomes -2.
Fail 1.
How many wounds has it got?
4.
4 wounds. And this is D6 plus 1 damage. And that's 5 damage, dead Land Raider. I brought it down and it doesn't deadly demise. Dante's gone, the Land Raider's gone, the Knight comes charging in. And he strikes out on 4s with his Electro Scourge. And that's sustained. And he wounds on 2s. And those are 4 5-up saves.
Into the Vanguard Vet Squad?
Yes.
Okay, I have to do them one at a time then.
Okay.
Fine.
Alive.
Dead. And then the captain has 4 pin burns. Oh, sorry, there is another guy in there. He's alive. So
it's just
killed
the
the 2,
captain.
it's just the captain now.
Okay, so the Bale Mace with its extra attacks on 4s hits twice, and it's strength 8, wounds twice, and 2 more 4-up saves on the captain.
Makes one fails 1, and I can change that to a 6.
So he's uninjured.
Yes.
And he gets to strike the Knight back. Captain versus Knight on 3 wounds remaining. You're doing a chunk of things. What are you doing?
So he used his Gift of Foresight to change that armor save to a 6.
Yes.
Which he could do once per battle round.
Okay.
And now he's doing his free CP on himself for Savage Echoes, which gives him +1 strength and attacks if he falls to the Red Thirst, which is what he's doing.
Okay.
So he's hitting on 2s.
Right.
With 7 attacks.
Yes. Then 6s to wound, though. That's the thing.
Ooh,
3 wounds? Okay, so 5-up saves. I've got this. I don't got this. That's 6 damage on my Knight. He kills my Knight.
The Red Thirst, he's under the effects.
Blow up. Not blow up. You just cut his kneecap off and he collapses in ruin and ignominy. Ignominy?
That's good, yeah. It's ignominy.
Ignominy. That's
That's a word.
Yeah. So you've sunk my battleship. That is the end of Death Guard turn 3, and I brought it down. I got rid of that Land Raider. But at the end of this turn, you're not defending your stronghold because someone else has lost to the Red Thirst, the Red Rampage, Lamates.
Well, I did Battle Shock in the start of my command phase prior to...
what does the card say? I think it's at the end of this turn.
It is at the end of the turn, yeah.
Yeah, the end of your opponent's turn.
Well, I'll ditch that then.
So at the end of your opponent's turn, he's Battle Shock, so he's not taking that one. What do you get for objectives? You get 5 points for this objective down here. And you've got a hero captain and Mephiston and some dudes and a Brutalis. And there's no close combat stuff between you and my deployment zone. In fact, you've got so little left, but I still don't know how this is going to go. Heroes of the Imperium are going to attack the Death Guard lines, and I'm still scared, even though there's so few of them left. Let's go on to Blood Angels turn 3. So the Death Guard are winning 32 to 24, but these are 2 good orders for the Blood Angels. Just kill for no prisoners. And they got to bring it down as well. They've been copying my homework all game. Right, so Lamates is no longer battle shocked. He resumes attacking and killing that cliff. And then the chaplain with the assault intercessors has jumped over here. They want no prisoners. They see some poxwalkers. And then in the middle of the battle grid, a Brutalis Dreadnought and Mephiston come charging straight down towards the tanks. And then there's the hero captain that just took out a Knight. You've got a bunch of heroes spread across the battlefield.
Dante. He's after it.
He wants him dead. Well, if you kill multiple vehicles, that would be multiple points to bring it down, and for no prisoners. Starting over here with the captain squad, firing at the poxwalkers.
Yeah, so we've got 3 heavy bolt pistols.
Okay.
Which hit twice.
Yes.
Wound on 4s.
Okay.
-1.
-1. Barricade. Mind you, they have a 7-up save anyway, so that doesn't help. 5-up, feel no pain. 1 blows up.
2 plasma pistols, no point overcooking.
No.
Miss.
Okay.
And then that's it, because the Chaplain's Inferno pistol is only 6-inch range.
So let's face it, it's all about the charge with them.
Yeah.
Coming around the middle.
Brutalis.
Into
Everything
tank.
into tank, yeah.
That's the one that you made the Oath of Moment target.
That's right. So
Okay.
3s to hit.
They both hit.
Strength 9,
Toughness 10.
So 5s, twin linked. 1 wound, -4.
4-up and bun. 5-up and bun, sorry. And make the invulnerable save.
And then the Icarus pod, not Icarus pod, the Iron Hail Stubber on top.
Yep.
Hits
With
those
Oath,
times.
they all hit.
And then 6s, but twin linked.
Okay, 2 wounds so far. That is 2 wounds in total. I think it is a turp save.
Yeah, you're all
And it's good. Mephiston doing all the overcooking all the time into the Oath of Moment target. Here's the plasma.
1 or 2.
It hits.
Strength 8 is 5s. No.
Hazardous.
He's fine. And then the Psychic Power hits all the times. Strength 5 is still
6
6s.
is the wound.
1 wound, -2.
I failed a save.
1 damage.
1 damage and a hazardous.
He takes 3 wounds again. 3rd time. And he lives on 1 wound.
1 wound remaining. I tell you what, the stench of the Death Guard is really putting him up because
I've never really failed a hazardous before, and I've done it 3 times on 1 model this game.
in a row.
Yeah.
That means that you're never going to fail it on Mephiston for like the next year. You've
Probably,
spent all your
yeah.
bad luck on him now. Captain.
Captain's going to try and plasma pistol this thing.
Okay.
Overcooking.
Okay.
Hits. Doesn't wound.
Hazardous. He's fine. That would have been very embarrassing. And I think that's the end of your shooting phase.
Yeah, it's charges.
So we've got some multiple charges. There is a 5 or 6 inch charge here from the Chaplain into the Poxwalkers, and a 10 will definitely get there. There's just a 4-inch charge with the Brutalis up the gut, and 12 will definitely get there. It's a 5 or 6 with Mephiston, though, into the same target, and he gets there.
There's a 2 for the Captain.
Okay.
He's in.
Right, multiple charges across the line. Boom. The Chaplain and the Assault Intercessors make it here into the Poxwalkers. We have mortal wounds on the charge, on 4s.
3 of them.
Okay, 3, 5-up, feel no pains. Yeah, you just land. Imagine, like in Space Marine 2 when you do the jump pack thing, it just went pop, like spots as you come flying in there.
Yeah.
Then the Chaplain does a thing at the start of the fight phase as well.
We can get it out of the way now, yeah.
Okay.
So on a 4-up. Nope.
No. And then you fight a bajillion attacks into the Poxwalkers. We did that fight. There were 6 Poxwalkers left, and you'd have killed 11 of them. So they're gone. We come across here 2 Brutalis Dreadnought, which has impact hits on the charge.
Yeah.
Into the Plague Burst Mortar. And it doesn't...
That does D3.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
2.
Tanks on 9 wounds remaining. We're starting with Mephiston, though, because he's got fight first. We should have done him again.
Sorry. 2s.
Yes.
6, this is the other moment, and 6s are lethal.
Okay.
And then these are going to be 3s.
Strength 11, right?
Yeah.
3's to wound. He wounds 6 times.
-3.
Okay. 6 5-up and vulnerable saves. I make 2 of them. 4 get through.
D3 a go.
Okay.
For 3, 6, that's cocked.
That was 10 damage.
It's not with 12, right?
Yeah, well, it
Is
was
it-
only on 9 after the impact hits and things. It's dead. It's dead. Deadly Demise. It does. Deadly
It
Demise.
might kill me.
This will do D3 wounds to the Brutalis.
Yeah.
For 1.
Yeah.
How many is Mephiston on?
1.
Okay. How many wounds does this do to Mephiston? 3. He's make all 3 of his feel no pains.
He doesn't. He's dead.
Another hero of the Imperium is removed as a casualty. Mephiston cleaved that tank in half, and a bit of plating came off and hit him in the head. Now we're doing the Captain versus the Fated Blow Drone.
Captain is still in the grip of the Red Thirst, so he has lance and lethal hits.
Okay.
Okay.
He's very, very angry because this drone took out Dante.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's got 7 attacks.
Right.
Hitting on 2s.
Okay.
Those 3 6s are lethal.
Brilliant.
And then he's going to wound you on 3s. No, so he's strength 7, which would be 5s, it's to 4s.
Okay.
So it doesn't convert any, but 3 at -2.
3 -2, 3 5-up saves. I make
4 damage.
4 damage in total. The drone will nibble back again. Who the what now?
Winters, you just reminded me of my enhancement.
Yes.
That failed hit, I can make a 6. It's after the roll, so that becomes a lethal hit.
Okay.
You've got 1 more save to make.
Right. It's on 4 wounds left. And now can he nibble you back?
Yes.
He can nibble you back. He's got a plague probe. Are you ready to be probed? 3s to hit you. I hit once. Strength 6, but it will wound you on a 2. It wounds once. -1 becomes -2. Take a wound. I probe him. Put a wound back on him. And that's the end of Blood Angel's turn 3. And now rampaging in my lines, there's a captain on a few wounds left and a brutalis all over my objective. And apart from that, and this unit over here with the chaplain in it and Lamarty's gnawing on Rockface, that's all the Blood Angels have left. But I've got a tank, I've got a drone, and then I've got some Poxwalkers and a couple more tanks over here. I've got barely anything left as well. So let's add up all the points, because you've definitely got no prisoners. You've definitely got Bring It Down as we go on to... And what am I on? I'm on this one. Who controls this objective here?
I'm OC4.
I'm not OC4. We're both OC4. So don't control that one. I just control this one over here. And then you reminded me that you tagged the tank as well. And then I did the attacks with the tank into your captain, and no further wounds caused. Anyway, let's add up all the things. It's really close. No one's got any models left at all. As we go on to Death Guard, turn 4. Soul turn.
Hi.
It's 37-30. There's only 7 points in it. And Overwhelming Force kills stuff in range and objectives. That's your Brutalis. I'm not sure I can do that. And Establish Locus. I definitely can't do that.
Which one's that? Is that the action?
It's the action in the middle of your deployment zone. So let's burn a CP and see what I get instead. Cleanse? I might be able to do that. Right, so the drone over here failed his battle shock test. And normally they can fall back, shoot and charge. That's their thing. But because I failed a desperate breakout test, if I fall back now and roll a 1 or 2, that's a dead drone.
Yeah.
So I'm not falling back. We'll stay there. And then the idea is Overwhelming Force kill the Brutalis Dreadnought. So all of these guns are going to ignore your captain. Shoot at the Brutalis Dreadnought. Meanwhile, around here, the Mephitic Blight Hauler is going to lend its firepower in as well. And that should be some points. While the Rhino full of Poxwalkers cleanses this objectives, I should really put a line through that and put filth. Does some filth on this objective here. They're getting out and they're piddling all over that objective. While the drone zips over here and goes after Lamarty's next turn. So the only thing that is shooting is all of these things into the Brutalis. So Sultan spending a CP on Armour of Contempt. We're firing the Plague Burst Mortar in first, hitting on 4s with the Entropy Cannons, and it's strength 10, but you're in Contagion, so I'm wounding on a 3. And that becomes -3, becomes -2, back to -3, because I think you need a 5. You don't make a 5. And that does 5 damage in total. The Piddly Gun fires in, hits twice, and doesn't wound. Then I'm firing the mortar at you. And that will hit shoot 7 times. I need a hit. That's the problem. On 4s, just 2 hits. It's a wound on 5s. 1 wound and a 3-up save because of Armour of Contempt. And you make it. So the drone. We're going to do the Fetid Bloat Drone. We'll fire in. 4s to hit. Because I'm locked in combat. Just 2 hits. Strength 8. Still 5s to wound.
Yeah.
1 wound, -2, back to -2. That's 2 damage. 2 damage. How many is it on now?
4.
4 wounds remaining. Then it comes down to this Mephitic Blight Hauler doing all the things. Let's fire in the 2 multi-melters. 1 of them hits.
-1 to hit.
Why -1 to hit?
Because it's
This
not
one.
smoke. I keep thinking it's smoke. It's not smoke. It's the other one.
I need a strength 9, your toughness 9. I need a 4 to wound.
Because you're +1 to wound against vehicles, aren't you?
Yes, so that wounds. So you've got cover and Armour of Contempt. So a 4-up save. And then the Contagion.
Yeah, it's Contagion that always confuses
So
me.
it's a 5.
Oh, I make it.
Damn it. Missile launcher. Hits. This is +1 to wound you.
Yeah, 3s.
So 3s. Wounds.
-2.
-2.
So it'd be 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Back to 2s to 3s.
3s. Okay.
Ugh. There we go.
So that's it. That's my turn. I didn't Overwhelming Force. I've cleansed an objective. We're straight onto the fight phase. Your captain versus drone.
Yeah. He's going to spend the free CP on himself as we're in a new battle round for Red Rampage, and he's just going to choose the lethal hits because Lance doesn't apply here.
Okay.
So he's no longer in the Red Thirst, and he knows what he's doing.
He's come out of the thing.
Yeah, 2s to hit.
Right. He was
There's
angry,
a lethal.
but he's not as angry as he was now.
Yeah, he's strength 5 though.
Okay, so 5's to wound.
Wow.
3 wounds into that drone. 3 5 up and vulnerable saves. There's a
Getcha.
dead drone, which blows up on a... Not that. He turns and faces the tank, and at the end of my turn 4, I only pick up 2 points for cleansing this objective here. And at the start of turn 4, you're going to pick up 5 points for being on that objective over there, closing the lead for the Blood Angels, as we're going to Blood Angels turn 4. So it's 35 to 39. The tank and the Brutalis offset each other on my home objective. Otherwise, the Blood Angels would be in the lead. But instead, they're only behind by 4 points, and they need to engage on all fronts and extend battle lines. And they can do both of these. At the end of the movement phase, the captain fell back from his assault with that tank there, which leaves the Brutalis free shots against it, because it is the Oath of Moment target. And when the Brutalis makes the charge, you'll be engaging on 3 fronts, because you got that one, you got this one, and you got Lamartis. Interestingly enough, you thought about advancing them down into this quarter, so Lamartis could get out of that quarter and engage on 4 fronts instead of 3 fronts, but that would have put you right in front of the drone, and I'd have probably overwatched you and tried to kill you.
You were the person I've most ever seen use Overwatch all the time, and it's getting boring, so I ran away from the Overwatch.
Yeah.
You could call me a coward, but I ran away from it.
Well, why's your captain running away? What's
The
he doing?
captain's being tactical. The red mist has fallen.
Right.
So he knows if he goes here,
Yes.
he's giving you a choice. You can come and fight him,
Yeah.
or you can come and get Lamartis, but you can't get us both. So
Okay.
one of us will get an objective at the end of turn 5.
Because you score at the end of turn 5.
Yeah.
I like it. So you're being tactical and everything.
Trying.
Okay. That sounds tactical. It's amazing how much every little thing counts when you've got so few units left on the end of the table. And talking about every little thing counting, your Dreadnought is firing everything at the tank.
Yes.
I'm definitely spending a point on Smokescreen. Cloud of Flies. Not Smokescreen, Cloud of Flies to make them -1 to hit. So your multi-melters are going to hit on 4s. But they hit anyway. Brilliant. Strength 9. Toughness
5.
10.
Twin linked.
Okay.
No.
No wounds caused. And then you got the stubbly gun on top, which hits on 4s. And it is twin linked. Oath of Moment, and then wounding on 6s, and then it is twin linked. So you need 6s to wound. 1 wound comes through. I have a 2-up save. I make my 2-up save. And that's the end of the shooting phase, and then he goes charging in. Smash the Brutalis makes it there. He's spending a command point on Red Rampage.
Yes.
And now we fight. Who the what now?
So I was thinking of taking both the lance and lethal hits, but it makes me battle shocked. I don't think that changes anything this turn, because extend is the no man's land and my home,
No.
and then the engage is just wherever a unit's standing.
It doesn't change anything this thing, but what it does right now is you've got an OC of 4, I've got an OC of 4.
Yeah.
If I'm still alive, I'll get 5 points for holding this objective because you'll be battle shocked.
Okay, we'll just take the lance then.
If you kill it, you just take the lance.
We'll just take the lance.
You're not confident you can kill it.
I'm very confident I can kill it.
Well, then you should do both. If you're confident you can kill it.
Oh, right. No, I just don't want to... Why would you take the chance?
Because you're confident that you could do both.
Yeah.
You can do both.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
So I'm hitting you on 3s.
Yes.
Rerolling everything for Oath of Moment.
Yes. I wish I could Cloud of Flies in close combat, but you can't.
Everything hits.
Right.
And now it's strength 14.
You're winning on 3s.
2s because I chose lance.
Yes. Re-rolling everything because it's twin linked. And there's
Got
4
that, yeah.
1s. But you got mortal wounds on the charge. Let's do that first as well. See if you got any through. And that
No.
was a 1, so no. So you forget it and Zeech lets you know. 4+ and vulnerable saves.
4+.
Well, sorry, 4 up saves because it's -2.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So
It's 9 damage.
that's 9 damage. Tank is still alive on 3 wounds left. It's going to rev its engines. Ice cream. Tank revved its engines, didn't do any wounds back. That means you were right not battle shocking yourself there, and you've got extend battle lines. You've got engage on all fronts. You're going to score all your primaries at the end of the game. I'm only going to pick up 5 points for being on this objective here. So it's as close can be as we go into Death Guard turn 5. It's 44 to 42. The Death Guard are winning by only 2 points. You're going to score lots of primaries at the end. So I need this to work. I kept overwhelming force in my hand, which is kill that dreadnought. Kill it. And then I'll get points. And also no prisoners. Kill things for points. You haven't got much left. Let's kill, kill, kill. Over here, I've got the hauler and the tank that want to try and kill that dreadnought. And then in your deployment zone, I've got the drone coming for Lamatis. Kill all of these, you'll just have 2 units left. So you'll only be able to pick up a maximum of 10 on the primaries. And then it will come down to the secondaries. And a game-winning move right at the end. So let's start here. Let's spurt Plague Spitters all over Lamatis. Let's put him out of his misery. 2d6 auto hits. For 6 auto hits. Anti-infantry 2 up. That's 4 wounds. He needs to make at least 2 of these 4 up and vulnerable saves.
He makes 3 of them.
He's on 1 wound remaining.
And doesn't shrug the other one.
Doesn't shrug his thing with a feel no pain. I'm going to have to charge him, aren't I? I'm going to have to charge him. We'll come around here to the shots. Into the Redemptor Dreadnought.
Armour of Contempt.
Okay, your Armour of Contempt one more time. Let's shoot the cannons in at him. Oh, and the Plague Burst Mortar could come up. And because I can't fire the blast in close combat, so the Plague Burst Mortar will hit Lamatis. So let's entropy cannons to the Dreadnought. And they both miss. If there was time for a command point, that time is now. Now I just need to wound on a 3, and that's a wound. 5 up save with Armour of Contempt.
I make it.
You make the 6. Okay, little stubbies in, hits twice, and doesn't wound. Brilliant. Okay, mortar up and over into Lamatis. This is going to be 7 shots. It's going to hit Lamatis on 4s. And a hit, that's lethal. And these will wound Lamatis on 2s. And he needs 2, 3 up saves to stay alive. And he's gone. He's gone.
6 up drugs.
He's
Yeah,
gone.
he's dead.
We got rid of Lamatis. Lamatis is gone. Still need to. That's one thing for no prisoners. That's also a thing for overwhelming force because it was in range of an objective. And now this Mephitic Blight Hauler needs to kill the Dreadnought to get maximum points. Here's the multi-melters. These will wound you on 4s.
3s.
They wound you 3s. They wound you both the times. -4 and then contagion 6s. You need 6s. You make one fail one. D6 plus 2 damage at this range is a dead Dreadnought.
I blow up.
Oh no. D3 wounds
To the tank.
for 1.
And then to your hauler. If it's in range.
The Hauler was just out of range. That's the end of my turn. That gives me a final score of 53 points to Sultan's 42. And if you take these 2 objectives here, it'll be 53 to 52. There'll only be 1 point in it as we find out what the Blood Angels' orders are in turn 5. The orders for the Blood Angels: overwhelming force, kill something in range of an objective, and secure no man's land. And the captain shuffles forward onto the objective in the middle of the battlefield and raises the fallen banner that was dropped by the Sanguinary Guard. He's securing no man's land. The chaplain over here is also securing no man's land. That's an additional 5 points for the Blood Angels. And they win this day by just 4 points. And this is the way the world ends. 57 to 53 or 67 to 63 with painting standards. That was amazing. You've got 6 models left.
Yeah. 7.
7 models left.
Yay.
Nogle's number. Yay.
Ugh.
So Blood Angels, talk me. Yeah.
I think the rules are really good, but no amount of good rules can account for the dice rolling.
Dude, if
That's
you're...
some of the worst I've ever done.
Yeah, I'm pleased it was bad because otherwise you'd have run away with it. You still won in the end.
Yeah, that's the surprise, I suppose, that the entire game felt awful because I was rolling so badly, and yet they still pulled it out. So it shows you how good some of those stratagems are for the removing and stuff like that.
You are fighting uphill all the way.
Yeah.
So in the future, Blood Angels lists and things, there's one for Death Company, there's one for units jumping around all over the place. Have you got lists already? Have you got ideas already for the other 2 detachments
I might have 2,000 points of pure Black Armored Death Company and another 2,000 points of pure jump packs.
Pure jump packs.
Yeah, so I'll be trying all those. No, it was good. It was fun to use the book. There's some really good stuff and fun stuff in there. What I was saying after the battle was like the Duke of Wellington had a quote after Waterloo where he said, "The worst thing after a battle lost is a battle gained." And that's how I feel right now. I feel like I should have lost, and yet somehow we clinched it.
So it turns out that these heroes here clinched it for the Blood Angels. Mephiston one-shot a tank. Dante got charged.
He deserves a name after succumbing to the Red Thirst twice and killing a knight.
Yeah.
And then a tank.
Yeah.
And a blight hauler or whatever.
He killed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Comment in the comment section below for this Night Slayer captain with his glorious wings. We do hope you enjoyed that battle report. This battle mat is from GameMap.eu. Sultan is from Sultan Plays YouTube channel. Go over there, give him a sub and stuff. I like the one with the tank, with the living inside the tank.
Thanks.
One that you just did.
Thank you.
That's really good because they used to live inside their tanks.
Yes.
Basically,
It's make a tank a home.
Yeah.
Home base.
Who wouldn't want to live inside a tank? We're all war gamers here. Sounds like fun. If you'd like to support the channel, click like, comment, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Go to another YouTube channel and click like, comment, subscribe there. All of us YouTubers,
spread love.
We feed off of this. The machine spirit algorithm needs all those things. And to all my members who support me and all my patrons, love you. Thank you very much. Happy wargaming.
Bye.